They are keeping a Black woman on life support for her.
Please welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda Strada. Thank you so much for all the love and support. To my returning subscribers, to those people that share my videos and leave commentaries and also educate each and every one of us, you guys are the real MVP. So guys, a Black woman has actually been used as a means of medical experiment, and this is not sitting right with people. People are reacting, and this is absolutely not acceptable. Like Lovelace, I'm just going to roll the clip, as well as some of other stitches I was able to put together. Leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video, and please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We are just here for educational and informative purposes. Alright, Lovelace, let us put up the stitch first, and we are going to come back to talk about it.
So this is Adriana Smith. She started getting bad headaches, and she knew that something was wrong, in part because she's a registered nurse, that these weren't like normal headaches, so she went to the hospital. Hospital ran a bunch of tests, although they did not run a CAT scan. And then they sent her home, despite her and her fiance saying, like, I think you should keep her, I think something's wrong. And the next morning, her fiance found her struggling to breathe and gurgling. Went back to the hospital where they did finally run a CAT scan and found that she had blood clots in her brain. And at that point, there was nothing they could do about it, and they declared her brain dead. That is horrible for her family to have to deal with, to have to make the decision to take her off of life support, to plan her funeral, etc. Only that's not what happened. She was declared brain dead 3 months ago and is still on a ventilator and still being kept alive, not because her family said, we want to keep her alive, but because she's pregnant and she lives in Georgia, and there's a heartbeat law, an anti-abortion heartbeat law that makes it so they cannot take her off of life support. Adriana Smith is essentially being kept alive as an incubator. And her family says it's not like they automatically would have just pulled the plug. They wanted to weigh the options, to talk to medical professionals, to make a decision. But something doctors can't tell them is if this baby is even viable. If what happened to her affected the child. Is the child blind? Will the child be able to walk? None of that has been discussed. No one can confirm that. And none of these options have been given to her family. They're just like, nope, we're keeping her alive. And oh yeah, by the way, every day she's in the hospital on life support, she's running up a bill that they're going to have to pay for. Her mother said, every day I go and visit my daughter and I watch a machine make her chest rise and fall knowing she's not there. She's gone. My daughter is gone. And if you're a spiritual person and believe in the idea of a soul, that our bodies are simply vessels, she's trapped inside of hers, not allowed to move on because of a law that's supposed to protect life, a life that they don't even know would be viable. And her family now has to raise her child that currently is here in the world, a little boy who every day thinks his mother's just sleeping and can't have closure, as well as possibly another child that may have a ton of medical issues on top of the medical bills that are being run up by the fact that she's being kept on life support without anybody making that decision. And this image becomes frighteningly accurate. She has been stripped of her autonomy even in death. And the people who are best equipped to know what she would actually want, and certainly the people who are left holding the bag, the consequences of the decisions that are made now, her family have no say in the matter. This is not freedom. This is a dystopian nightmare, and it sets a dangerous legal precedent moving forward.
I'm speaking today as a nurse, a legal consultant, and most importantly, a Black woman with a voice in healthcare and the law. And let me tell you something. In all of my years of working on critical cases, I have never encountered anything like this. Adriana Smith, 30 years old, a nurse, a mother, declared brain dead after suffering a catastrophic medical emergency. In our field, that's not a coma, that's legal death. Brain death means no cerebral activity, no recovery. But because Adriana was just 9 weeks pregnant at the time, she's still on life support. Not for her, before the fetus for 90 plus days. And her family, her mother, her partner, her young son, who thinks she's asleep, they've been told their voices don't matter because of Georgia's heartbeat law. The law says once fetal cardiac activity is detected around 6 weeks, no termination, no exceptions for brain death, no acknowledgement of Adriana's legal status as deceased. So her body is being medically sustained, intubated, monitored, housed in the ICU to grow a fetus with an unknown prognosis. Doctors already suspect fluid on the brain. The outcome is uncertain. This isn't just tragic, it is absolutely traumatizing. And it raises ethical and legal questions we just cannot ignore. Who decides care when the patient is legally dead? Why is the family's legal authority being denied? And what precedent does this set for bodily autonomy, especially for Black women? Nurses are trained to advocate. Legal consultants such as myself are trained to analyze the gaps. In this case, this is a massive gaping hole in law and humanity. I stand with Adriana's family, and I demand the law catch up with both medical science and compassion. Tell me, should a legally dead woman's body be forced to carry a pregnancy because of the law?
They are keeping a Black woman on life support for her fetus. They are keeping a Black woman on life support for her fetus. She is brain dead and has been so for weeks. She has been brain dead longer than she was previously pregnant before she became brain dead. And they are keeping her medically alive for her fetus. This is Adriana Smith, 30-year-old Black woman in Georgia who was declared brain dead and has been for 90 days. And Georgia is forcing her family to keep her alive, right? Because she's brain dead because of her fetus, because she was pregnant before she became brain dead. Mind you, and all of this is happening against the will of the family. Adriana's mother is calling this experience torture. Adriana, a 30-year-old registered nurse and mother, suffered multiple blood clots in her brain and was declared brain dead 90 days ago. Because she was 9 weeks pregnant, Georgia banned most abortions. The hospital reportedly told the family she will need to be kept alive. She is being used as a human incubator. And she's dead. We have officially entered the dark times. We have officially entered dark times. And I would be curious if they would even attempt to do this on anyone else but Black people. We've all seen numerous examples throughout history of how they've experimented on Black folks, both with our consent and without our consent. And when I say consent, I do not mean informed consent, right? They oftentimes lied to the individuals that they were experimenting on about what they were actually doing. And I'm just wondering, at what point do we shut it down? Like, what needs to happen for all of us to shut it down? They are keeping a Black woman on life support.
Folks, right now, a 30-year-old brain-dead woman is being used as an incubator to keep a gestating baby alive without the consent of the woman's family. Adriana Smith, a 30-year-old nurse and mother of a 5-year-old son, is legally dead. She died 3 months ago from blood clots in her brain after experiencing headaches and being sent home from the hospital without being administered tests that could have potentially saved her. She was 9 weeks pregnant. Georgia has blocked Adriana's family from having the choice to stop the machines that are keeping her body from joining her brain in death. Georgia's 6-week abortion ban has an exception for a pregnancy that threatens the life of the pregnant person. But since Smith is already brain dead, her life is not at risk. And since her fetus still has a heartbeat, Georgia has taken ownership of Adriana's machine-operated body until they can harvest the baby, dead or alive. Adriana is functionally serving her state as an oven for a political idea that's meant to keep half of the population from becoming free enough to truly threaten the other half. This is not pro-life. This is literally a Handmaid's Tale episode. No joke. Season 3, Episode 9. And no wonder. This is patriarchy at its core. Women are commodities. We are owned. And while we're owned, we sure won't get our greedy claws into the boardroom. Men make it legal by doing it for the good of the state. They must own our vessels so society doesn't risk losing our duly required contribution. But the contribution, the baby, is just another political piece of meat in the triangle. Adriana's fetus has fluid on the brain, the consequences of which could range from severe disabilities to death. It's very difficult to keep a cadaver working as a fetal incubator. Complications are wide-ranging and severe. The instances in which this draconian situation has occurred in the past are few, but the older a fetus is when the mother becomes brain dead, the greater its chance for survival. Long-term effects of the medications given to the fetus and the mother are unknown. Republican Georgia State Senator Ed Setzler, a sponsor of the state's 2019 law establishing fetal personhood at approximately 6 weeks of gestation when cardiac activity can typically be detected, says he thinks it's completely appropriate that the hospital do what they can to save the life of the child, because there's a valuable human life that we have an opportunity to save, and he thinks it's the right thing to save it. Setzler says to suggest otherwise is to declare the child as being other than human. I guess Amber Thurman was other than human. She's the 28-year-old mother of a young son who Georgia let die right in front of a team of doctors because she needed a simple D&C. Of course, there are more, but they don't matter to Georgia. We can assume Ed Setzler will not be contributing towards the inconceivable medical bills for keeping Adriana's body functioning for 6 months, plus the NICU and the cost of care if the child survives with disabilities. Georgia ranks among the bottom 10 states for children's health. It's 31st in education and 36th in food insecurity, and its infant and maternal mortality rates exceed the national average. Georgia is pro-birth, not pro-life. Well, here's what I want to know. Is anyone the least bit concerned with the fact that the fetus will be gestating with no emotional connection to the mother? He will not hear her voice or experience the rhythm of her movements. No one knows the consequences of eliminating this pre-birth connection. And given what's happening in America, how soon do you think the practices of using female cadavers as incubators will become common practice? Well, guess what? It's not a novel concept. It's been around for decades and even has a fancy name: whole body gestational donation. Yeah. Just recently in 2022, an article was published in the Journal of Theoretical Medicine and Bioethics by Anna Smajdor, a professor of practical philosophy at the University of Oslo. Anna proposes using women in vegetative states as surrogates for prospective parents who wish to have children but cannot or prefer not to gestate. Imagine a day when a wealthy couple can browse through a selection of women in vegetative states to choose which one gets to be repurposed as an unwitting incubator. Interestingly, functionally dead males have been used for sperm retrieval. But don't worry, sperm is only viable for 24 to 36 hours, so there's no risk that we'll see men used as mere vessels for the state to harvest their blessed fruit. Thank goodness. That would be a bridge too far.
Like, this is just an issue of history repeating itself. I think I read something relating to this some time ago. I read about how black women are used as a means of some medical practice. Like, there is this particular one that happens during the days of slavery and all of that, how they use black women, not giving them any form of anesthesia or whatsoever, allowing them to, give birth to see how they can correlate pain and all. Like, it's actually a very, very disturbing story that I think I read it up some time ago. You can also check it up. I have totally forgotten the name of this woman, but I'm just trying to, put it in the comment section if you remember. But it is actually a woman which was used as a means of practical or medical experiments to check how much pain that people that looks like me can tolerate, especially black women. When I saw this video or this stage for the very first time, I decided not to put because it's just so touching. But then again, I just want us to see what is going on in this world. So this woman who happens to be pregnant, 26 weeks or so, have been kept for weeks, right? She's been kept for weeks. And she is confirmed brain. Okay. Because of the abortion, they refuse to, conduct something that we're supposed to, at least to save her, right? But no. They kept her there and every other thing. And another thing is that the most annoying part is that They keep on allowing the bills to pile up and wanting the family to, like, what is going on? Is this how people are supposed to be treated? Or she is being treated as such, maybe because of the person that she is? Like, this has actually been on my For You. I saw it at night. I couldn't even sleep. You know, so many people, which I saw their commentaries, were like, oh, maybe they're public trying to like save the. But what happens to. This is just so complicated. But no human should actually be treated as such, right? No person deserves to be treated in this manner. Because the family right now, they are confused. They don't even know what to do. The hospital is holding this woman. Like, what is going on? I'm even concerned about the little one she's going to be leaving behind. Like, what is happening? What is really going on in this planet Earth? I seriously love this. When I saw this, I was like, this is not happening. They just kept her there. Like, I actually believe that this period in time is a period to actually stay very close to your loved ones, be there for them, watch them closely. Like, and also you yourself should take very serious precaution about your health, because I don't just know what to say. I'm short of words. I am actually out of what to say, because this is just not happening, right? This story is just, I don't know. I don't even know. Anyway, lovelies, wanna just leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video. And please watch out for your loved ones. And do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We are just here for educational and informative purposes. And I'll see you, lovelies, when I upload the next one.